Hey guys, Dante here with another little video, but I want to do something different this time. And before I get into the build guide, I really want to give a shout out to you guys, to all the subs, all the nice messages I've been getting from the community, all the people that joined the Discord, that started following the stream and stuff like that. The channel gained an immense number of subscribers from the last two videos, and I just want to say thank you very much for watching the videos, for leaving a like, for commenting, saying the nice things you guys said, and I really do appreciate it. So with that and my appreciation for you guys, let's get into the video.
What's this? A real challenge? You've finally caught my attention. A fellow exile. One more fool under Zana's sway. Allow me to destroy you before she has a chance to betray you too. At least my way will be quick. You slew my friends. You brought ruin to my world. You have invaded my venison. I should be furious, and yet I feel nothing. How boring and small. Destroying you is as easy as flicking a pest. Did you really think this would work? I transcended all this long ago. Feel the thrill of
the void. Why run? What's the point? Your lives are meaningless. Watch guilty crumble.
Impressive. But now you will fight on my lands. You assumed I share the same weakness as my fellows. And now you come to me. Is it bravery or foolishness? You will long for
Non-existence. Reign of stars. Everlasting fire. Glorious flames.
What drives you, exile? Is it justice? Revenge? Honor? No. It is power.
This video I want to showcase you guys the build that I am currently playing right now and the pros and cons of it, do a quick like run through of the build and the possibilities of how this can be improved and changed depending on various play styles. Okay, but before we get to that, I want to talk about the build as it is right now and as I have been playing it up to this point. Okay, so this build is a intelligence stacking, power siphon, kinetic blast, wander, assassin. Those are a lot of words. It sounds very convoluted and complex, but trust me, it's really not. And I'll try my best to explain why that is in the following minutes. Okay, so let's start with the basics. We are a assassin. Why do we take assassin? Because I wanted to try something different. My first thought was to go with a occultist, but I already played an occultist, so I said let's just roll with an assassin and see how it feels. Okay, let's start with the basics. We stack a lot of int because of the damage on our wand. You can see this wand is a very basic, very budget. It's not mind-blowing, it's very scuffed, it's very bad. This is, I just essence spammed it and I left it like that, right? There's nothing multi-modded, there's nothing out of this world. It's just like super basic wand. It's not even divine, it's not even blessed, whatever, you guys get it. It's not that mind-blowing, right? So how does this work? We get 1 to 6 lightning damage to attacks with this weapon per 10 int. That's why we are scaling as much int as we possibly can. We try to get int on all our gear to be able to accommodate with that. The thing that's gonna be your your best friend on this build is obviously intelligence, lightning damage to attacks, and attack speed. The thing with this build is because we're using power siphon as a single target, having as much attack speed as possible is gonna make the build feel extremely better. The more attack speed, the smoother it gets. Okay, so let's get into the gear and then I'll show you what you can do otherwise after that. Okay, so like I said, the wand is a imbued wand. You want it to be imbued because imbued wand has the fastest attacks per second out of all the wands, and like I said, attack speed is gonna be your best friend. So you want a hunter influence imbued wand, and then you just spam it with essences of wrath, like you see there with the lightning damage, until you hit 1 to 6 lightning damage to attacks with this weapon per 10 int, and then you can do whatever you want with it. You can multi-mod, you can augment influence, you can do a lot of, you can ashling unveil it, you can do a lot of things. So that is 100% up to you. That's how you craft this wand, that's how I got it, that's how I left it. There's nothing like mind-blowing there. Okay, and going directly into the gloves, it is a finger seal glove with spell damage implicit. Spell damage, we're gonna get into that, boosts our attack damage. We have projectile attack damage, a lot of energy shield. This is crafted again with spamming int essences until you get some good prefixes and suffixes. This can be also ashling unveiled for even better stuff. Now let's talk about the helmet. We are using Crown of the Inward Crown of Eyes, sorry. And this helmet, you can see that increases and reductions to spell damage also apply to attacks at 150% of their value. What does this mean? Basically, this means that wherever we get increased spell damage, it also increases our attack damage at 150% of their value. This is why we have spell damage basically increases our attack damage. Plus, it gives a lot of leech, it gives a lot of accuracy. The downside is minus 30 fire rest, but you can bypass it pretty easily. For the rings, I am using the 6% increased intelligence synthesized rings. These are a bit expensive, not gonna lie. Hold up, let me just pull up my PoE trade macro. So these are a bit expensive, but they are like the min-maxed version. That you can see mine, the suffixes are okay, but the prefixes are just completely trash. They're like horrible. I didn't even spend the time to min-max these because the build is doing just fine as it is. I don't feel like it needs more damage or more survivability. So let's see how much this is. Remove this, and intelligence implicit. It's about 13-15x. So they are a bit expensive. Again, you don't really need these if you can get int on other places. Like on the belt, you can get int on int implicit gloves and stuff like that. So for the rings, you want to spam them with essences until you get resist and some good prefixes. Same for the other one, resist, a lot of int, some prefixes. Mine are completely trash. Don't try to do better than this, okay? For the amulet, it is again a % increased intelligence implicit amulet. This one's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this one. We hit with the essence, we hit the high end. We also hit all attributes, which is amazing. And we also hit the Ashling Unveil with strength and int. This is probably the best it can get. The spell damage, again, also increases our attack damage, which is great. The only thing that I could be better if the life was ES, and then you can craft % ES or craft some lightning damage to attacks or something like that. For the shield, we are using a Sirus Reflection. Why a Sirus Reflection? This shield is amazing, and the fact that this league is so cheap, it just blows my mind. Probably because of the Warlord liquidity, but that's another story. But this, for 1x, this shield gives you so many benefits. You have all res, you have 60 int, you have like up to 200 energy shield. You are unaffected by curses. What does this mean? Whenever you enter a map and you see like you players are cursed with LE weakness, this, you still get the curse, but it does absolutely nothing to you, which is amazing. You can run LE weakness, vulnerability, enfeeble, whatever it is, it will not affect you. So yeah, get this shield, best in slot. For the belt, again, I am using a % increased intelligence, implicit synthesized belt, and the same thing. I crafted it with essences until I hit some good resist to cap me off, and then I crafted dex and int. The play with this is to keep going until you hit some good prefixes also, and then Ashling Unveil it like the amulet to get the double attribute thing, which gives you a lot more int. For the gloves, I am using a Sorcerer pair of boots with the adds 1 to 160 lightning damage if you haven't killed recently. This is, in my opinion, probably one of the best enchants for this build. The next one would be damage penetrates 10% elemental resistance if you haven't killed recently. So this build, I awakened the orbed it with elevated chance to avoid elemental ailments with Tailwind. Now, you may be asking, why elevated chance to avoid elemental ailments? Because it just gives you so much survivability. You cannot be shocked, you cannot be ignited, you cannot be chilled. And you might be thinking, well, that's only 50%. Well, let's go to the next piece of armor. The chest piece. The chest piece is a Crusader and Shaper elevated % intelligence. You don't need to have the double influence. You can go for either Shaper or Crusader and get the int and then elevate it to get the +1 of socketed intelligence gems. Once you get that, the best in slot option is to awaken it orbit with a Redeemer base to get Frenzy Charge on hit. Right, that is probably the better, because frenzy charges increase your attack speed and thus make the build feel better. And And from that, you can just settle with that and get avoid elemental elements, ashling, unveil on the prefixes, so you can be element immune, right? 50% with 45% is 95%, and I'll show you where we get the other 5%. Okay. So what is left? That's about basically all the gear. About the flask, we're using a Ball of Faith, Dying Sun, a Quicksilver flask that removes corrupted blood because I don't have a corrupted blood jewel, Cinder Swallow with chance to avoid being stunned. This makes us, combined with the chest piece, this makes us 95% stun immune, okay? And because we are element immune, I'm using a Vessel of Vingtar, which gives you a lot of lightning damage to attacks during flask effect. Okay, great. So that being said, let's hop into the tree real quick and I'll show you how we get our stun immunity and our ailment immunity. So for ailment immunity, I took this node here, elemental focus, which gives you, what is it, 10% chance to avoid elemental elements, thus making us element immune, as you can see here. So how do you get stun immunity? You get stun immunity from the chest, combined with the 50% from the Cinder Swallow, and you get a, let me just find it real quick. What is it? I should have prepared better. Okay, but the thing is that you get a chance to avoid being stunned on any jewel. So that makes you stun immune while you have Cinder Swallow up, which is basically 90% of the time. Okay. So about the skill tree, you start as an assassin and you take like the standard crit nodes, path here, and we take arcing blows, throat seeker, utmost intellect, and we path the way with the most int and also the most efficient way. And we take this wand wheel over here. I took Whispers of Doom for additional curse. We are Chaos Inoculation, which means our life is 1 and all our energy shield is our lifeline while being immune to chaos damage. Take Ghost Reaper, Power Charge, and another Jewel Socket. And over here, another Power Charge, another Jewel Socket. We take Discipline of the Forbidden, which gives us a minimum charge and 8% chance of gaining power charge on kill, increase power charge duration, but also get all the added benefits from these. We also take this wheel here, and we take another power charge, and over here we have a Transcendent Flesh. Great, so let's hop directly into the jewels, because this might be a little bit confusing. So over here on the left, we have a Transcendent Flesh, which gives us a lot of crit multi for every unallocated strength node in the region. We don't take any strength nodes, so we get the maximum benefit from the Transcendent Flesh over there. Over here, we have a Thread of Hope. It's a unique Crimson Druid that drops from Sirus. I had this question a lot on my previous video. How do you get the Thread of Hope to the correct size? The way you can get the Thread of Hope to the correct size is you use a Divine Orb. A Divine Orb will change the size of the circle, but also change the minus to all attributes thing. So be careful with that, okay? So we want a very large ring, and we take Foresight, we take Harrier for just attack speed. Again, attack speed makes your build feel better. We take Overcharge, which is basically power frenzy and endurance charge on kill with 8% chance. We take more attack speed, and we take some defensive nodes over here, Arcane Focus and Deep Wisdom. Now, if you can min-max this build even more to have even a better tree, but that's the basic. For the normal jewels, we have a lot of int, as much int as you can get with percent energy shield, and a lot of attack speed. You can get attack speed with wands, attack speed while holding a shield, base attack speed, stuff like that, right? Like this one, attack speed while holding a shield, attack speed with wands, resist, basic attack speed. This is a triple attack speed. This is really good. And same here, attack speed, and percent ES, attack speed, int, res, stuff. You get the idea. And same over here. Jewels can help you cap your resistances quite a bit, since it's gonna be quite difficult to get everything that you need, like all the resistances, and without trying to min-max and to spend a lot of money. So jewels can help you quite a bit in capping your resistances at the expense of a little bit of damage or a little bit of ES. So feel free to adapt the build to your needs. Right, let's get into the cluster jewels. I am using for my playstyle a large cluster jewel with 12% increased attack damage while holding a shield. This is pretty good because we get Fuel the Fight, Martial Prowess, and Veteran Defender. Fuel the Fight is attack speed, attack damage leech as mana, and 20% increased damage while leeching. Leech mana is recovered over time. Multiple leeches can occur simultaneously up to a maximum rate. So, as you can see, when we attack, we lose mana. When we hit, we leech mana, thus granting us the 20% increased damage. So every time we attack, basically we get 20% increased damage because we're leeching mana all the time. Okay, Martial Prowess. Martial Prowess is attack damage, accuracy, and damage with elements from attack skills. We want the accuracy and attack speed is really good. And Veteran Defender is 15 all attributes, which is amazing. Elemental resistance by holding a shield, and increased defenses is from equip shield. For the Watcher's Eye, I am using a increased attack speed while affected by precision, and damage penetrates lightning resistance while affected by wrath. This is currently about 25 to 30x. Now, before you say that this is an extremely expensive build, you do not need this Watcher's Eye. You can go with a more defensive route at way cheaper, like a way cheaper Watcher's Eye. I'll explain that in a second. Let me just finish with the cluster jewels. Okay, for the second large cluster jewel, I am using a 12 passive, item level 84. You don't need to be 84. Increased spell damage cluster jewel. Why 12 passives? This makes no sense. Well, since we can get so little benefits from spell damage clusters, the best thing we can get is flat int, flat ES, some resist, and stuff like that, and take all this wheel over here. So you can either use one of these, or two of Fuel the Fight, Martial Prowess, Veteran Defender, or Feed the Fury, Martial Prowess, Veteran Defender. Okay, so one Fuel the Fight, Martial Prowess, Veteran Defender, one Feed the Fury, Martial Prowess, Veteran Defender, or one of these 12 passives. If you take this out, as you can see, besides losing 1 dex, whatever, 18, 17, and if I take this, it drops to like 1691. So that is a lot of end that we're missing out on. Okay, to just give you an idea, but the attack speed from these may compensate with that, and I will show you as soon as we get into the PoB section of the build. Now, like I said, so those are the cluster jewels. You can adapt this to your playstyle as you see fit. Now, if you don't want to spend like 20-30x for the Watcher's Eye, let me show you this. You can get this Watcher's Eye, attack speed with precision, gain 10% of maximum mana as extra maximum energy shield while affected by clarity. This is much cheaper. This is 5x. But if you ditch this Watcher's Eye and you put this one, you do not run Wrath. I know you lose damage, but I said we're going a more defensive route. So we are gonna go with Discipline and Clarity. And you already see we're already like 2+, even 2 more 2k plus ES. This is a very defensive route to take, because we're still at the same end because nothing else changed except the Watcher's Eye, but we have a lot more ES. We're over like almost 11,000. So again, please adapt this to your playstyle. If you want more damage, you take the Precision Wrath and you use Wrath instead of Discipline. Okay, great. Oops, this one, and put that over there, and put my wrath back on. Okay, so while we're here, let's jump into the gem section. In the wand, we have Sniper's Mark, Elemental Weakness, and Arcanist Brand. Because we don't have a way to trigger all our curses, unless you want to craft the trigger socket spells in your wand, you want to use a Arcanist Brand when you're fighting a boss to proc Sniper's Mark and Elemental Weakness. This will give you a huge DPS increase, obviously, because Sniper's Mark is freaking amazing, and also Elemental Weakness. In the gloves, we have elemental damage for attack skills, greater multiple projectiles, anomalous kinetic blast because it gives us 2 pierces, and damage on full life. Why damage on full life? Because we're always on full life. 1 out of 1 is considered full life. So this is gonna be our clear skill. Whenever you're running maps, stuff like that, you just use this and everything dies. Like you saw in the video, you saw that it looks pretty cool. This clear skill is pretty amazing, and it's also really fun to play with. In the boots, we have Precision, Enlighten, Wrath, and Skitterbots. Again, this is the DPS setup. Why we use Skitterbots? Because we run, what is it? Elemental focus in our single target, which means cannot inflict ailments. So Skitterbots is gonna do the shocking and chilling. Great. In the shield, we have Blood Rage, Dash, and Enhance. Enhance just gives you quality to supported active skill gens, which means it gives quality to Blood Rage, which gives us more attack speed. When you're mapping, you just pop Blood Rage, and you just attack a lot faster, plus Blood Rage gives you frenzy charges. In our helmet, we have our cast when damage taken setup, cast when damage taken, Immortal Call, Wave of Conviction, Summon Lightning Golem. Why Lightning Golem? Because it gives you more attack speed, and you do get hit, but the build is so tanky that you can just sit still in early mediums and just proc Wave of Convictions left, right, and center, and also keep your golem up like 80-90% of the time. Okay. In the chest piece, we are using our single target. For the single target, we are using Anomalous Power Siphon, which the quality gives us fires an additional projectile, which is better than the 20% increased damage from the base quality. Damage on full life, Barrage Support, again, Barrage Support, not Barrage, Barrage Support, which does this. If we remove this, this is how the skill looks like. There we go. And Awakened Lightning Penetration, which is one of the best gems for this build. Elemental damage for attack skills, again, you can use the Awakened version if you have the funds, the currency to do it. And Awakened Elemental Focus. Mine is kind of bricked because it's only 13 quality, but whatever, the damage is just fine. So those are the gems. We talked about the Flasks, we talked about the jewels, we talked about the possibility of Watcher's Eye and stuff like that. So I think that is most of this part. And now let me just boot up PoE real quick. I'm very unprepared for this build, I'm sorry guys. So import, this is how you can import, start, and ultimatum, 95 assassin, passive 3 items, skills done. Okay, we click the flask because this is like the burst that we want to see. Power Siphon. So do we have power charges? Yes, we're an assassin, we always have power charges. Do you have Tailwind? Yes, from the boots. Do you have Elusive? Yes, from our Ascendancy. Are you on Consecrated Ground? Yes, from the Ball of Faith. Number of unique enemies. I usually left this unticked, but just for the purpose of showing the bossing capabilities of this build, let's take this to 1. This is for bosses such as Elder, Sirus, Maven, Shaper, like all the bosses that are just 1 target, right? Which basically the only ones that really matter. Let's see, over here is enemy burning, ignited, yes, from our Cinder Swallow. Is the enemy chilled? Yes, from the Skitterbots. Is the enemy shocked? Yes. Is the enemy on consecrated ground? Yes, because from our Battle of Faith. And is the enemy a boss? Yes, Sirus. So basically this is how it looks like. We are using Wave of Conviction with exposure to lightning, and just let's leave it like that. We're always on full life, and that's how it looks. We're currently at like 28 million damage, which is more than enough. It's more than enough. Like you saw in the video, just you can even face tank like the Sirus attacks. You can tank the little rain of stars and stuff like that. You can tank the Maven little beam stuff. So you can tank quite a lot depending on which setup you take. So yeah, like 28 million damage. But what I would probably say you guys do is don't take this cluster. Take a copy of this. Oh, so let's say what is it? This one. So you can see the damage drops off a little bit to 26, but with the extra 5 points you get, you can take Heart of Thunder, which makes you like 29.2 million damage, which is a bit more. So it's probably even cheaper like this. This cluster might be even cheaper. So it depends on your budget. You see how you want to do. You see how the build performs. You can adapt it again to your playstyle. But for now, let's just leave it at this and ditch this. So you probably get like 1 million or something like that more damage. So that's the POB. Again, I think that's about it about the build. Just get as much int as possible on your tree, on your gear. You really want to aim for a minimum of, let's say, 1500 or 1600 int. Then the build really starts feeling good. What I would recommend for this build is a conclusion. If you want to push it a little bit further, get a chest with elevated int, avoid elements, and frenzy charge on crit. That will help you on your single target, because as you can see in the POB here, if I take frenzy charges, it just goes up to 32 million, which is pretty good, right? I think it's pretty good. Yeah, so that's about it. If you guys have any questions or something like that, just drop them in the comment section below. Feel free to like the video if you thought this was interesting. This is a more scuffed video, I have to admit, than I usually like to make them. But it's been like a couple of busy days, and on the next build, I promise I'll do better, boys. I promise. So yeah, like the video. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you enjoy this type of content. Leave me a feedback in the comment section. What do you think I could do better, or what you guys want to see in the future build guides? If you think that I missed anything, I really appreciate your support, and I try to answer all the comments that you guys leave, all the questions. And if you think I missed your comment or something, join the Discord. The link will be in the description. We got a little community that slowly started growing, and I do stream almost every day on twitch.tv/Dante00151. Feel free to drop by the stream and drop a follow, come say hi, and just have a good time. This is what I really want, is just have a good time, play some PoE, meet some cool people. And before we finish, I want to take you through the MTX. I don't have a weapon MTX version because wands, you know, it's like whatever. So we have the Breach Core alternate helmet, we have the Master Spellblade body armor, Breach Core gloves, Breach Core weapon effect, Master Spellblade boots, Nightfall footprints, Fatestorm portal effect, and I have right here the Celestial Kinetic Blast, which is basically our clear build that makes it look like super cool. the Dark Shard aura effect and the Lightbringer aura effect, which I think it looks pretty nice. So yeah, thank you very much guys for watching. I really appreciate it. So please consider subscribing, like the video, join the Discord, follow the Twitch, and I will see you guys in the next video. And until then, boys, stay safe. Okay, boys, so for the leveling of this build, you can level with Power Siphon as soon as you get the gem, and you're basically gonna use preferably like 2 setups with Power Siphon, elemental damage on full life once you go CI, but until then, just use Inspiration, Barrage support for the single target, lightning damage penetration, elemental damage for attack skills, and elemental focus. This is gonna be like your single target, and then for your clear skill, you can use the same setup, but instead of barrage, just use chain. You're gonna use all the basic leveling gear like tabula rasa. You're gonna use Loctonials, Gold Rim, you know the leveling gear. And you can use from level 30 replica tweezers. These are probably really good for leveling this build. This is how I personally leveled it. I started level 30 using replica tweezers because fire an additional projectile which helps you increase your damage. And once I started feeling that the damage starts to fall off, I upgraded to rare ones with a bunch of ALOT damage, like this one, like attack speed, ALOT damage, crits, whatever. You just go to PoE trade and look for your current level and search highest elemental damage ones that you can find, and you should be fine to level it until you can equip all your gear. Okay, so that is my recommendation for leveling. Or you can use for example, Hollow Palm and transition into wands at a later date, but that is all up to you guys.